Max Wild says, have you read Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers? If so, what do you think of his approach to limiting the franchise only to those who are veterans? When I read it when I was a kid, I thought it was a great idea. I'm thinking less of it now. I think, look, he makes a compelling case. And basically, for those of you who haven't read the book, what Heinlein is saying in Starship Troopers is, you should not have a say in how society is run unless you've been willing to give your life for it. That doesn't mean you can't live in society, and it doesn't mean you don't have rights or anything else. Just the vote was limited to veterans or people who'd served the government in one way or another. As I get older, I begin to wonder if service of the state being the only qualifications for the franchise is exactly the way to go. I don't believe that anymore. I do think that we have gotten very far away from the idea of everybody having skin in the game. If you had to ask me what I would do to change things, to make things more equitable, more less people stealing from the government, I would simply change the tax code. I'd make sure that everybody paid the same percentage of tax. A tax raise on one person was a tax raise on everybody. If there's, blatant waste, everybody's paying blatant waste. I think that's a better solution than saying that only veterans can vote. I don't think that's the essence of it. And certainly if you talk to the founders, and I think the founders were 100% clued in. If you went to the founders with that, I think they would have had a cow. They had a great deal of concern about a standing army, and elitism of any kind of, palace guard, any kind of aristocracy, any kind of, that kind of thing. And I think that's where I would end up with it. I don't think the founders would have liked it. On retrospect, I don't like it. But what Heinlein was getting at was important, and that was the idea that you have to have some stake in this business. You can't just take from it without putting something in. I think that's spot on. 3 to go. David R. DiNardo asks, if a Democrat wins the presidency, is this the end? No, it's never the end. It's the end when the last person stops fighting these swine. If a Democrat wins the presidency, we're just in even worse trouble. Look, there's a part of me that is at this place now where it's like, if this thing is going to collapse, the sooner it collapses, the better. Because the sooner it collapses, the more of us who remember what it was like before then are left. What terrifies me is a 20-year collapse. And when I say collapse, I don't just mean an economic collapse, a collapse of social structures. It may not come to that, although I think it might actually. I think that we really need to win this election in a very, very, very big way. And if we don't, then we have even more work to do. And I don't know how else to put it. I don't think there's much beyond speculation there that nobody else can speculate on, right? I mean, that's pretty much it. We have to make sure they don't win, and if they do, then we have to just keep fighting them. And it's going to be worse. It can always get worse. And if Hillary Clinton wins this thing, or Bernie Sanders, then it will get much worse. Although I don't even know if that's true. I don't, seriously, how does it get worse than this guy? I just don't see how it gets worse than this guy. Hillary's one of the most awful people in the world, but she's ruthless. And she's evil, but Obama's just evil. So, yeah, that's depressing. David, we're going to fight our little guns off until we don't have any ammo left, and then we'll fight them with the clubs.